The riots that began in New York and Chicago began in LA, have spread now to New York, Chicago. They're saying they're coming to Atlanta, also to Florida, naming some other states where they're going to be. As you know, President sent in the National Guard, and the left is apoplectic over this, accusing him actually of spreading the violence. That's rich, isn't it, Emily?
It is. And I've been looking at reports. I mean, this is spreading to all over the country, coast to coast, a bunch of different states. And the one that I saw that was really, really rough was in Spokane, Washington.
Right. There
were 30 people arrested there. They had to implement a curfew last night, very similar to what they were doing in Los Angeles, Bo. Do you think that this is going to continue to spread to other cities? How can we get this under control?
Yeah, I think that it will. And, we just saw the lady that was on the screen there with the Free Palestine flag. I just, seeing these other flags, I got to be honest with you. You do this in another country. You do this in the Middle East. You do this in Venezuela. You do this in other areas of the world. There's a lot worse that's going to happen because people come here and they take advantage of the freedoms that we have, and they believe that they can take advantage of that over and over and over again. Everything free, everything, free citizenship, free insurance, free money, free, and I'm tired of it. So seeing these other flags makes me realize that there are detractors, there are people who really don't believe in America, and I frankly don't want them here.
Yeah, well, this is all AstroTurf. This is all paid for by outside sources, most of them communist linked, but the government is looking into that, and that's good. Gavin Newsom saying that this was just such an isolated incident, so small that it's being blown up in the media. As you pointed to, Emily, it's spreading like wildfire literally across the nation. Out of 400, a little more than 400 arrests in Los Angeles proper, 330 of them were illegal. So these are non-Americans coming to our country, threatening our federal buildings, which is the reason why the president had a mandate, to send in the National Guard. And so the lies from the left are just being disproven over and over again. And that's why almost 60% of people actually in the U.S. right now support President Trump sending in the National Guard. Let's check out today's Bible verse. It's from Luke 1, verse 79. And it says, "And you, my child, will be called a prophet of the Most High because of the tender mercy of our God, which by the rising sun will come to us from heaven to give light to those who sit in darkness and the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace." Well, the anti-riots have begun engulfing Los Angeles for days now, and we are seeing the riots spread across the country. These people do not want, they're anti-ICE riots. I want to be very specific about that. These riots are being planned in certain states like New York, Wisconsin, Tennessee, and Florida, and Alabama, to name a few. The activist groups are reportedly partnering to host them. The Trump administration sent Marines and National Guard troops to Los Angeles to keep the peace. So where will things go from here? Gavin Newsom has this message for President Trump. Take a listen.
Look, this isn't just about protests here in Los Angeles. When Donald Trump sought blanket authority to commandeer the National Guard, he made that order apply to every state in this nation. This is about all of us. This is about you. California may be first, but it clearly will not end here. Other states are next. Democracy is next. Democracy is under assault before our eyes. This moment we have feared has arrived.
It's either small and isolated, and the president is blowing it out of proportion and causing arson, right, as some are asserting, or it's spreading across the country. It doesn't make a lot of sense what you're saying there, Governor. For more, let's bring in RAV Chief White House Correspondent Brian Glenn. Brian, what are we missing? What are we not reporting that you know because you're there on the ground?
Good morning. It's the same talking points. And I'll say this. The very people that are against our military being on our cities and streets, on our soil, protecting our civility, perhaps protecting the law and safety of our citizens, are the same people that have no problem sending our military halfway across the world, on the ground, in Ukraine, fighting a war we have nothing to do with. The hypocrisy of the way they view the military and its role is laughable. President Trump is doing the right thing here. This is an 80% issue, even across the board on Democrats. Most Democrats agree that what they see on TV right now, the lawlessness, the smashing police cars, the looting, the rioting, the assault on police officers and National Guard and our military, you cannot stand for that. You have to stamp it out as soon as possible. This will spread to other cities. We're already seeing this weekend over 1,500 U.S. cities expecting this No King protest, these rallies that will come together. Not far from here, just in Virginia. They're expecting a human chain where they're going to basically come together, lock arms, and show solidarity against the, quote, threat to our democracy. This does not end anytime soon. I have a feeling that there's a lot of people in small towns across the USA will be inspired to do what we're seeing right now, but hopefully it doesn't escalate to the violence that we've seen in Los Angeles.
Brian, as you mentioned, they have no problem sending our military abroad to endless wars, but they also had no problem, let's remember, during COVID, sending the military into people's homes to make sure they were complying with their arbitrary rules that they were trying to enforce while Gavin Newsom was eating at French Laundry, Emily.
Yes, I remember that incident.
Correct.